Hey, how's it going, guys? We're back out here by the hive. I'm gonna do a little hive inspection again today. This is my 5th week having the hive. This is the 4th hive inspection. Last week we took a couple of new frames and we moved them into the brood pattern to help to try to get the bees to draw out the new frames. That way the queen will have, you know, a little extra room to lay. And once they get all these frames drawn out in the bottom, I can go ahead and move some up to the top to maybe encourage them to move up to the top. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and open up and start the inspection. Get our smoke going here. Not many bees up here today. That looks a little dirty here. I wonder what happened. Check a couple of these frames up top. I don't know if you guys can see down in there, but they haven't really moved up here at all. But I'll do like always and check a couple of frames. There's a good bit of propolis over here. I think I'm gonna scrape it off. This is one of the frames I moved up here 2 weeks ago, and not doing too much with it. There's a little bit of capped honey over in the top right here. All this is nectar and some bee bread right through here and here. So it looks like they're working on it a little bit, not too much. Same thing here, just a little bit of nectar. These next frames have nothing on them. I'm just breaking them loose so I could get the box off. Make sure they're not stuck at the bottom. We'll check out this frame too. Yeah, it's stuck to the bottom, so I'm gonna have to pry it loose a little. There we go. And same thing, nectar. Not much work happening up here. Same thing on this side, just nectar. They're still working on drawing out this frame. Make sure these are all loose. And we'll go ahead and take this box off. Got a pretty good seal on the bottom, so I'll use my tool to break the seal. Okay. Set this right over here. So we got a pretty good bit of bees out on the frames today. As you can see, they're pretty much covering all the frames. So I think a lot of new brood hatched in the past week. So looks like a lot more bees than I've been seeing. And just drop them down into the frames. Make it a little bit easier to work. I always like to start on this side and work my way over. It's always kind of a pain in the butt to get this first frame out. This Hive tool makes it a little bit easier. Okay. First frame, not much going on. It's a bunch of old comb. You can see up here through this area they added new comb to this old comb frame, and on the other side it's just nothing but old comb. I'm thinking about maybe taking this one out and just scraping all this old comb off and giving them a new frame, depending on how much work they did on the other new frames. But just making sure the queen is not here before I set it down, and she isn't. So I'm gonna set these guys right here. Go on to frame number 2, check it out, see what they got going on. Watch out. Okay, let's see. All right, got capped honey up here at the top, going around the top over to this side. And all the middle is all nectar, a couple little cells with pollen in it. See what they got on the other side. Pretty much the same thing. The little capped honey here around the top of the frame, and nectar all in the middle. Okay, frame number 3. This is a frame I put in 2 weeks ago. So this is what they've done in 2 weeks. Barely started drawing out some of the comb up here. They have nectar in it. This side's looking a little bit better. Got some capped honey here. Nectar all through here with just freshly drawn comb. Same thing here, nectar with freshly drawn comb. So that's good. Just leave this over here for them to keep working on it. Depending on how the other frames look that I put in right here and here, if they're all drawn out completely, I might switch this one with one of those, but I'm looking right now and it doesn't look like they've drawn them out yet, so I'll probably just leave them where they are. So now we're moving on to the 4th frame. Okay, I got capped brood on the 4th frame. And honey up here, capped honey. Nectar in the bottom. Larvae through these cells right there. Also larvae right in the middle here. Also a bunch of larvae all through here. So with all these larvae that size, you know the queen had to have been on this frame about 4 to 8 days ago, but they're still pretty small, so I'm guessing she's been here, you know, around 5 or 6 days ago. Flip around to the other side of this frame. Pretty much the same thing. Capped honey all around the edges, brood in the middle. They started filling some of these frames in the middle with nectar, but there's also larvae too. I don't know if you guys can see in there. So pretty good looking frame. A bunch of brood and food for them. Okay, frame number 5. This is a new frame I put in about 2 weeks ago. You can tell they're just starting to draw this comb out through here. The bottom portion hasn't been drawn out yet. And same thing on this side. A bunch of bees working to draw out all this comb through here. So I'll just put it back where it is. Let them keep working on it. Sorry about that noise. All right, here's the 6th frame. I added this one 4 weeks ago. Okay, and last time I took it out, this was nothing but capped brood. So as you can tell, a lot of them have hatched out and they're gone now. All this throughout here was all capped brood. Now it's empty. It looks like they started backfilling it, just a couple of them with nectar, which is okay. You still have some capped brood down at the bottom. Oh yeah, all this brood hatched out between last week and this week, so that's why I was seeing a lot more bees when I opened it up. But yeah, all these cells are empty. I don't see any eggs in it, so the queen hasn't been laying in this again, and she's not on here. But I got capped honey, and all these cells are just empty. Looks like they're still cleaning some of them up. Oh, look at there. A bee is hatching right there. It's pretty cool. So, go ahead and set this one back. 6th frame going back. Okay, this is the 7th frame. Got a lot of capped brood here. Got a little bit of capped honey. This looks like a little drone cell right here. We got a little bit of bee bread throughout here in these cells. I don't know if you guys can see, but I'm trying to show y'all. Some larvae throughout here. A bee with pollen on her legs. Looking for the queen. And this frame is pretty full, so there's not really any room to lay for the queen. But there are larvae up in there. Okay, pretty much same thing on this side. A little bit more bee bread. There's an emergency cell right there. I don't know if you guys can see in there, but it's empty. I'll go ahead and knock it down just to make sure. I'll go ahead and open it up, and there is nothing in there. Once again, looking for the queen. She's not on here. So once this brood hatches, it'll be a pretty good addition to this colony. Another emergency cup right here, and it is empty. Let's make sure there's no cells on the bottom. Nope. That looks good. Here we go with the 8th frame. This is the frame I moved 2 weeks ago. No, I'm sorry, last week I put it here. and they have done nothing with it. This side they started drawing out a little bit of comb right here, just through this area. And it's right in between two brood frames. Oh, they're fighting down there. God dog it. Oh no, that's a dead bee. They're trying to take it out. It's pretty cool to see. I don't know. I don't think you guys can see down in there, but eighth frame's back in. Here's the ninth frame. Ninth frame's a nice heavy frame. It's got capped brood, capped honey, bee bread all through it. Some larvae. Not seeing any eggs yet. Same thing on this side. This is a bunch of bee bread throughout these cells. Got an emergency cup on the bottom. I'm gonna set it down and open it up, make sure there's nothing in there. It's empty. A little bit of bird comb right there. Go ahead and leave it. Haven't seen any cells with eggs yet. Might have to go back and check a couple, just to make sure the queen's still laying. There's tiny little larvae in here. They can't be more than 4 days old. It looks like it just hatched. Ninth frame going back. Tenth frame. Lots of capped honey. Some bee bread. Got a couple of larvae in here. Yeah, these are tiny larvae. This is all capped honey. Haven't seen my queen yet. Might go back through a couple of frames and check for eggs. Oh, there she is. See her just there with the blue dot? I don't know if you guys can hear these bees. I've never heard them make that sound. And there's the queen just walking around. Don't know why she hangs out on this side of the hive. Little newborn bee. Okay. There's a bunch of little tiny larvae in these cells. The queen's right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and put her back in very carefully. That's pretty much it. Saw the queen. I'm gonna go ahead and check one of these frames just to see if she laid in any of them, because I haven't seen eggs. I saw a bunch of little tiny broods, so she can't really lay in this one because they're still working on it. Not seeing any eggs here. Hopefully by next week they'll have this this 8th frame drawn out and she can lay in there. Or she could just come over to this frame and use all of these empty cells. She doesn't have any eggs in here. You could also use this frame that they're still working on. Anyway, that's about it. Saw the queen. She's doing alright. I wish she would be laying a little bit more, but give them a little bit more time and go ahead and close it up and check on them next week. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I only had to smoke them one time today. They're pretty relaxed and calm. Plus, they probably got a lot of foragers out. It's only about 2 o'clock right now, so. A bunch of nurse bees in this hive right now. There we go. Nice little propolis ring around here. Let's go ahead and space these frames back correctly. Looks good. Go ahead and throw the top back on. All right, guys. That concludes the fifth week hive inspection. That was my fourth inspection, so looks like they're making a little progress. A lot of young bees hatched, so hopefully they'll help contribute to the hive and help draw out those other frames. And next week we'll come and check them out again. Thanks for watching.